Calling all Amazon shoppers and lovers of Bitcoin. Want to enjoy huge discounts while shopping with Bitcoin and save on millions of products? Purse.io is now better than ever before. With Name Your Discount, users stand to save an average of 15% on all their purchases. Buy now. Instantly search for Amazon items on Purse.io and save 5% just by using Bitcoin to check out. Purse.io. Finally, a reason to use Bitcoin.
Hello and welcome to Day 6 of the 2017 Blood in the Streets America's Dota 2 Championships, supported by our partners over at Purse.io and Antlion Audio, and brought to you, of course, by FirstBlood.io, the first blockchain-powered esports platform. I'm Quicksilva, and today joining me on the virtual casting desk will be Sky and Doggy Sandwich. Let me bring them up. Sky, Doggy, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing okay, especially after a day off.
I know, we're well rested and ready to go. Sky, how about you?
Oh, I am doing fabulous, my friend.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. So, we have an exciting match today. Sacred versus G Pride, and this is to decide who's going to go to the grand finals. Lower bracket finals.
Right.
This is hyped, boys.
Yes, it is.
So, news on Sacred, I believe that they just qualified for the summit. Is that right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You have to tell me to confirm that.
I believe I saw a little thing on Twitter today saying that they qualified. So, congrats to Team Sacred on this that great achievement. And you know, G Pride, maybe they can use that to fuel them and say, hey, they might have qualified, but we're gonna knock them down today. Yeah?
Maybe they can try to play him for the last second qualifier spot, take it from him.
Yeah, unvouch. We beat you. It's our spot now.
Right.
So, before we hop into this draft, there's another announcement that we want to make from FirstBlood.io, and that is the announcement of Tournament Week. You guys familiar with this?
Oh.
Hear anything in the whispers?
I heard about Tournament Week. Tournament Week is sick. They just finished their automated tournament process on FirstBlood.io, and the way it works is literally you grab your squad, you plus 4, 5 all out, and you queue up and get ready to win some dollars as a team playing all week long. It's not just like a single day. It's from the 19th to the 26th, and I believe up to 4 G's total prize pool available.
That's what I heard.
And now this is just free to join. Anyone can join it.
So, Silva, you want to hop on a team, man?
I'm down. I don't know if we can bring Sky, though. You say he buys a lot of Midas.
Yeah, this isn't the Midas meta. Got to keep him out.
I'm going to go mid and then rush Midas. Not even get boots. So
Midas mid.
Probably don't want me on your squad.
All right.
Me
and you.
Winter Wyvern and get a Midas. And that's what you're going to deal with. So, hey. What?
Well, Sky, we'll put a squad together. We'll join Tournament Week, and we'll sadly have to knock you out. No dollars for you.
Hey, dude, the first tournament is a $200 prize pool.
Not too shabby. You know, it might scare away the big dogs and give us little guys in the 4K bracket a chance to take home some some cash. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So yeah, this is Tournament Week. It's starting just a week away. Anyone can join. You grab a team, get your logo, team name. I believe if you are able to win any of the days on tournament mode, you'll qualify for the very last tournament at the end of the week, which will have the biggest prize pool, the biggest payout. So please head over to firstblood.io. There's more information there if you're interested in joining. Hell, I know I'm going to join. I'm going to get my 5 best homies, maybe someone that plays mid better than me, and we'll go try to win some cash.
Cash money, man. And hey, think of it this way. There is so many opportunities to play. If you aren't able to play on the first day, well, guess what? There's a second day, and a third day, and a fourth day, and a fifth day, and a sixth day, and a seventh day, because it's a week.
It's a beautiful thing. Tournament week.
How many days are in a week, Sky?
Hey, sometimes it needs to be spelled out for people. That's it.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in competing, I know most Dota players are competitive. Try out Tournament Week. That's firstblood.io starting on November 19th. Next Sunday, I believe.
You know, I think this needs to be something to make happen. Even if you guys are just memeing on me on my my Midases, we'll see what ends up coming, you know, toe to toe.
Me and Doggy been watching some good Dota lately. We we have plenty of strats to take you down. I heard tossing Tide Hunter's pretty solid and Slardar.
Titans in Slardar's home. Jeez, man. You know, you say that, but ironically enough, I've been seeing a lot more Tinies creep up in a bunch of series.
Oh yeah, you gotta believe it. I think that everyone is just realizing how powerful he is now. So he's just sort of, you know, he's sprouting up and existing now, harnessing that raw rock power.
So what do you look for in a team, for making a team of people? Are you looking for people that play specific heroes, roles, what?
I think that the most important thing, yeah, the roles are really important. Like you need someone that plays mid, you need someone that plays carry, and you need someone that, I mean, ideally you also want a really strong support duo. But besides all that's important, captain's important, but synergy I think is the most important thing. You really have to be able to mesh all together as a team in order to function properly. Because without good communication and teamwork, you ain't gonna win any money in tournament week. I'll tell you that.
Nah.
Because that makes me think, because we're talking here at least on that, you know, you want your specific roles, you want your strong duo combo and all that jazz, but we've seen a lot of flex out of these teams of people that play heroes more so than specific role positions. And I think having that sort of ambiguity to who's doing what and where could be a benefit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Leave a little mystery to it. I'm always talking about those pucks flexing on the versatile pick. You know, is it mid? Is it off lane? Is it just gonna lose?
I think of it this way: like if you're playing against, all right, and I'm gonna use a terrible example because I don't know the last time they even did a thing. If you're playing against Na'Vi, and you see Dendi, you know he's mid. You know
that's true.
But in like games that we've seen here, I think Sacred being one of those teams that has people flexing in on other roles, you don't have it as such a straightforward situation. And I think that can be used to your direct benefit.
Definitely true. Also having an Invoker player.
Well, it's typically a useful thing. I think I'd rather have like somebody who can play like Quap Puck, maybe TA, maybe Storm right now.
Oh yeah.
Viper.
Those are some nice threats.
It's your typical mids. I guess Invoker would work because I mean, let's be real, you're gonna be pretty far down the bracket before you find somebody who will actually walk at him in the beginning of a game and give him a hard time. You know, just let him set up and tee up any Sunstrike that he wants. So I guess you can have your Invoker.
How you guys feel about that Cataclysm? I'm not an Invoker player myself.
Don't like it.
I think it's hilarious.
I honestly don't like it because it randomly targets. So
what do you mean it randomly targets? It hits everybody.
Yeah, but it offsets it by
targets, yeah.
Oh, all right, the offset. Yeah,
they have to accidentally walk into it, or you have to be like they have to actively be in a black hole, or else it's not that good. I think.
I don't think it's worthwhile.
The one thing that does yield a pretty heavy advantage is people compared it to having Zeus's ult. Like, you just basically gain the vision advantage of knowing where everyone on the map is. That's totally true. That's a really strong thing to have in your toolkit. I don't even know what the talent opposite Cataclysm is on Invoker. Shows how little my Invoker knowledge goes.
You know, right now, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I'm going to get all them stats up for you.
35 alacrity damage. And speed, I believe. Yeah, 35 alacrity damage, last speed. So, like, yeah, why would you take Cataclysm? Like, you can see people across the map. Cool. Or you can have more consistent damage. Thinking emoji.
Speckle, Zeus ult, Invoker ult.
At least you know that Haunt and TGW or TWG, excuse me, is gonna hit. You don't know that for Cataclysm. You can't really give any base for picking it. You just like being Sky, man.
What?
Sky gonna be Sky?
Yeah, Sky's gonna be Sky.
Got to keep things exciting. That's all I'm saying.
What's more exciting, watching 2 Sunstrikes come off on your sides while you're just walking around in the jungle, or I don't know, alacrity PA, bonus alacrity PA.
Oh man! Anytime I think of a cool alacrity combo, I always go back to when Brewmaster's Earthling Panda was just like insane with it.
That 1 week.
That 1 week.
They patched that out so quick.
Well, he was taking racks like alone in, I don't know, 5 seconds or less. It was insane.
Yeah. Through backdoor protection.
Yeah.
In 5 seconds or less.
It was really crazy. Rip. So, we're about to get started very shortly with the draft here between Sacred and G Pride. Do you know if they like G Pride or Gorilla's Pride better?
I don't know, but in all honesty, it's probably better to say Gorilla's Pride, so you know what the G stands for. You know how some people will be.
Mostly me. I'm just clarifying for you, because he was alluding to it, but...
No, I was alluding to Twitch, but if... Yeah, you fit into a Twitch memer, so yeah.
There you go. See?
I am excited. I'm excited for this game. There's going to be some solid stuff. We've seen great play by Gorilla's Pride and Sacred. G Pride was able to pull themselves out of a losing situation in their lower bracket match.
Right, against Elite Wolves, where we only saw the first game and we had to leave it for the upper bracket final. So we were kind of assuming they were done at that point, but somehow behind the scenes they were actually able to go from being down 0-1 to here in the lower bracket finals. Now I have to ask you, do you think they can actually take Sacred? I mean, we're going to see it in a couple minutes, but is there anybody you happen to favor in between either one of them? Because again, we just heard that Sacred did indeed qualify for BTS, so they're kind of on a bit of a hot streak. We know they've been playing today, so you think the Gorillas have warmed up to them?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I think the teams both know each other very well. So I honestly think it's going to be a pretty tight series.
You know, something that intrigues me off of these guys that are going to be playing here is that Team Sacred is... Team Sacred has picked the least amount of different heroes, and G Pride has picked the most amount of different heroes.
Well, you have to consider 2 things. G Pride has been going through the lower bracket longer. Sacred has literally played the least amount of games, even in the upper bracket, because they had one free round against Lucchini.
Yep.
So there's
10 seconds.
You have to put an asterisk next to that stat.
Fair
Radiant
enough.
Team ban.
But we're into the game. Game 1 versus Sacred and Gorilla's Pride.
This looks like more like Silva's pick bans to me. I don't know if I'd call this a game just yet. I mean, I guess you can call this like the actual
10 seconds.
briefing.
Part of the game.
Yeah, it is.
Some people say that all of Dota is in the draft. That the draft is more important than the game itself sometimes.
You aren't entirely wrong, but you're not entirely right.
It's true that you can gain a very heavy advantage in the draft. I'd say there are games where you outright lose in the drafts, but those are few and far
5
between.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, it has to be one of the grossest out drafts ever for that to happen, and you still have to be able to fulfill the roles and live up to the skills needed to make sure that draft lives up to the clear outdraft that it was presented at the beginning of the game.
Exactly. Very good point.
Radiant Team ban.
We will never get to see a Broodmother in this tournament.
No.
Maybe that's for the best.
Maybe in your opinion.
I played her last night, and she is disgusting. She's really
how
good.
So how bad did you lose by?
I think we won. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I was
Guy
offlane
here
and I was
talking
doing
about playing
really well.
Brood and then doesn't even remember the outcome.
10 seconds
It was
remaining.
one of those games where you feel like you lost even if you won.
5
If you know what I mean.
seconds
Ah,
we got mega creeps. They almost mega creeps us back, and then we like barely took their base.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, one of those Dota games.
None of these bans are too surprising.
Yeah, these
No.
are standard fare. I think we'll probably see Spirit Breaker kick the bucket next, which you usually don't see all three. The top roamers gone.
that would have to be coming out of G Pride.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. I guess Sacred really doesn't want to play because they have first pick and they have played Spirit Breaker. So
Yeah.
that kind of surprises me that they would take it off the table.
Well,
and
it
not
means they don't
Gorillas.
want it.
Dire Team pick.
Clearly.
Radiant Team pick.
Ooh.
It's a cool pick, literally ice cool.
One that we haven't seen too often has been touched just a little bit in the picks and bans, but yeah, I can only think of one game off the top of my head that I've seen Lich in the streets so far. So
10
interesting that
seconds
Sacred would go to it here in the lower bracket finals, and Gorillas responding back with the fire to melt the ice.
Now where's Rubik? Isn't that the classic combo? Ogre Rubik. Feel like I saw way too much of that yesterday, or the
Hey, there's
last
still an
day of the
opportunity,
tournament.
okay? That's all I'm saying.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't rule it out.
Yeah, they
5
we're
seconds
playing it a
remaining.
lot versus CES, so maybe they're
Dire
considering
Team
it.
pick.
Wow.
Nope, they're just living up to today's standards.
Hell yeah, Tiny!
Team ban.
Earth Shaker.
I love these picks so far. This is a very different draft than we've seen. So could be roaming, could be offlane. Tiny is definitely going to carry.
10 seconds
Uh,
I'm more inclined to believe that this Earthshaker is going to
5
be
seconds
4
remaining.
Yeah.
because Iron Talent doesn't exist anymore. And I mean, we've seen an Earthshaker in a one-on-one lane, and it didn't really work out so well. I mean, it was one-on-one against a Tide. That's kind of unfair to say, but it's a hero that he will get some, or he can get some levels and a little bit of CS with Fissure, but if there's any kind of contention against him in the lane, he can't really sit there. So before 707, he was able to fall back in the jungle, get a couple of creeps, and make sure to stay closely relevant while he was working his way to his Blink Dagger. Can't do that anymore. So it's really suspect to put him in the off lane by himself, or even with help. Just to give him that kind of farm priority. Like he's a target.
Yeah, definitely a lot of vulnerabilities on Earthshaker as an offlaner. I'm just thinking that I know King Tekka played him last,
Dire
so it
Team
makes
ban.
me think that that's what he is. But
Radiant
maybe
Team
their
ban.
roamer can also rock a quick. I don't know. They're banning out the Tide. That's who we had a bad time against.
I'm just double checking behind this, and yeah, that
10
game won against
seconds
Leviathan.
remaining.
That was a rough lane.
That was a brutal
5
lane.
seconds remaining.
And like again, I remember you commenting in that specific lane that the levels were even, which they were, but the farm just
Yeah, it wasn't
didn't
even
live up-
close.
yeah. And then like Monkeys Forever was just able to kick King Tekka clean out of the lane and take to tower at that point because there was no support who could come help him in that game. I think this will be a little different caliber kind of a game because it's looking at the support so far. You have one really defensive in Lich gonna make one lane virtually impenetrable, just a solid wall of defense. And Ogre is not like the
10
most
seconds
threatening roamer.
remaining.
He's annoying as all get out, but it's not like Night Stalker coming in or
5
something like that.
seconds remaining.
This might sound a little crazy. I feel like Sacred is angling for a Huskar pick.
Are you gonna say that based on the AA ban, or
Not just the AA, but I also just think it's good.
AA, they have some Lich armor for it, long disable to help protect him when he jumps in. It's
The
They
only
need-
thing is that Huskar is very susceptible to physical damage, and Tiny does a lot of it.
Oh yeah, Tiny's definitely strong. I think it will be more telling based on the next heroes they take. If they're going to try to run some sort of a Huskar lineup.
yeah, they need more CC, right? They need
Yeah.
more stuns.
They need a lot of stuns to make him work. Because basically you want to allow the Huskar to go in and kill everyone, but
Dire
everyone
team
also has to be locked down while he's doing that.
I don't like that Huskar ID anymore, man.
Yeah,
No
Huskar.
way against Brew.
There's very few heroes who are good versus Brewmaster. He's an incredible hero. I'm actually shocked that they didn't ban him, but I guess they banned out the Tide.
And the
10
puck.
seconds remaining.
Gotta ban out that puck, G Pride. They don't
Otherwise
want to
they'll
have
pick
any
it.
free
5
wins.
They'll
seconds
pick it and
remaining.
they'll lose accidentally.
Yeah, that's the strat. You ban the puck so that you don't make a mistake. Hover over it, on the pick screen, and just hand yourself a free loss.
Radiant
Like,
team
what's
pick.
Puck's win rate at this point? I know it's still in the trash can, but has it cracked 20 yet?
No, it's 15%.
Damn.
And Puck has been like one of the most shown heroes. And it's one of the lowest win rates.
All right, so you were right on the Earthshaker
10
because that
seconds
bat's
remaining.
definitely going to go off lane or try to match up against the
5
Brewmaster
seconds remaining.
solo.
Pretty good pick. Being able to hold Tiny in place so he can't unload all of the damage. Could possibly catch Brew before the split goes off.
Dire
A lot of
team
control around the field as well. And there's our Rubik we were looking at, all the way down to the 4th pick.
It's
It
because
looks like,
they
yeah.
weren't worried about it getting banned out. They could just get it at their leisure later.
Yeah, it's
like-
much smarter drafting by Gorilla's Pride.
Right. But I would still kind of think that if Sacred had been
10
looking at how the
seconds
games have been lately, at least in Blood in the
Radiant
Streets,
team
they would have
back.
heavily considered
Anti-engage.
banning Rubik at some point in time, especially if they really wanted to take an anti-mage. Like, I mean, again, it's not like you see a Rubik, oh, I'm not going to pick Annie, but if you know they've been playing that dynamic duo and they've had some pretty good success, it's a good idea to
10
take it away
seconds
from them
remaining.
because picking AM and Shaker into a Rubik gives him two
5
very
seconds
powerful
remaining.
skills that he's very liable to have.
Okay. This might be a hot take. That could be a bat mid.
What in the world gives you that idea, man?
I feel
Dire team
I
back.
feel like they want Magnetar.
I feel like G Pride wants Marana.
G Pride probably wants Marana. Yeah. Marana's a perfect round off for their lineup. I don't know why. I love Magnetar. I think he's really
10
strong.
seconds remaining.
Would you believe me if I told you G Pride has not
5
played
seconds
Marana?
remaining.
Wow.
Team pick.
That's
Unless
crazy.
I've missed a game somewhere that I do not believe they played Marana at all in the street. So,
Oh my god, they could
Radiant's
put
team
AM mid
pick.
too.
3 strength heroes or two
3.
cores,
I mean, still Tree.
pretty good.
I like that pick.
The only thing that concerns me is Timbersaw
10
is
seconds
typically
remaining.
best against that almost trickle of
5
physical
seconds
damage
remaining.
over time, whereas G-Pride's going to be far more in the burst physical damage direction with Tiny especially.
You may now select your heroes.
God, both their teams are solid.
Yeah.
Leo Style is their mid, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a mid timber.
I'm wondering if they're gonna go. I don't think this is the type of team you try to go aggro with. You can't go aggro with an anti-mage.
Not with a Lich and an Earthshaker.
Nah.
Yeah, it's not strong enough. So they're
Because
just
like
gonna protect
Earthshaker
him.
can roam, but Masoku's going to be best off as a defensive support, just keeping the lane pulled back and other things in that sort of spectrum.
Is it?
Yee.
I'm so confused at what their lanes are gonna be.
At whose?
It could be Tiny mid, not carry. Tiny
It
or
is.
PL could be mid.
Tiny's mid, because unless they swap roles, because Chris Brown has been their mid player.
It could all be a trick. All right, boys. Any thoughts on which way this is gonna go?
I want to
like
favor
it.
G-Pride here, personally.
Same. But the main reason I want to favor them is because they've been allowed to have their support duo that they've been so successful with in the past few days, and there's not a whole lot of opposition to stop them running around the map. I mean, they're going to have a tough time cracking through whatever lane Lich is in. There's going to be some like counter initiation from Shaker wherever he's at, but it's not like they ever have to play on the back foot. So they can really put a good amount of pressure on the AM. They can like make Bat had a slow start. I don't know so much about the Timber lane, but the big thing is they can make the space that they need to for Chris Brown to start getting his levels up so he can start taking Ancients, maybe get some room for Amy so that he can get a Blink Dagger and get the ball rolling before the AM comes online.
It looks like they are going aggro though,
30 seconds
with where the
to
Timber
battle.
Saw is positioned.
You said they couldn't do it, but
They're
the
doing
Summit,
it.
as Summit qualifiers are trying to prove you wrong, homie.
Can we talk about how adorable this Tiny is while holding a tree at level 1?
He's a cutie.
It's so goddamn adorable, and I mean, I'm not usually one to go to that sort of extent, but it's like he's just got on a big fat smile on his face.
Begins.
He looks like he's struggling to carry that thing, dude. It's like twice his size.
All right, boys. Good luck. Have fun to both teams and yourselves.
Word.
All right, guys, here we go. This is the lower bracket finals. One team will move on. The other will fade away. And it's G-Pride versus Sacred here. Surprisingly enough, it is going to be an anti-mage with a Lich in the mid lane. And right now we've got a tri-lane mid out of G-Pride. And
It's technically a try versus try, as you have Matthew in the back trying to see if he can snipe a carrier. But seeing as there's no vision on him, G-Pride has decided to leave the chick back at base so far and allow him to come in the back. They'll be able to get a lot of damage out of this fissure. Good
Oh,
block coming out
man.
on Chris Brown as well.
they're going to be able to pressure him out here, and Benji's only getting one poke on him, and that's okay. Mocha rotated down to the bottom lane early on before that altercation happened, but, you know, even still, I feel like this favors the Lich anti-mage.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh my
Especially
god, look at that
if
fissure coming out yet again. Get off so much damage here with Benji's, and he's stuck. Chris Brown, are you going to be the first one to go? It looks very likely. He eats the Fairy Fire. Benji's able to get that first blood.io, and Masoku is holding that Frost Blast. He really wanted Chris Brown to get it, but top lane, Amy taking out Leo style. He tried to use that Timber Chain to get away, and whoa, so much murder.
Yeah, top lane was kind of questionable. Don't know exactly what happened for Brew to be able to kill a Timbersaw, but the bottom lane is what I've been kind of harping about to start things off. There's the Ogre, Rubik combo, lift into a Fire Blast.
Ah, mid lane. Chris Brown going down. Masoku scooping up the kill there. Whew. We're already averaging 2 kills a minute. Let's keep it up, boys. That's some first blood.io.
Oh, yeah. First through fourth.
And it's interesting in the top lane seeing Amy and Leo trading hits like this so aggressively because you're right. Amy shouldn't be able to scoop these kills like he had been previously, but the strength of the Drunken Brawler. Can we really put it in on that?
Maybe.
Because it's burst physical damage, so we're not seeing the reactive armor get up to snuff quick enough. And I think that's where we're able to see that impact happen.
I see Masoku coming up here to try to pull the lane back a little bit when way of sacrifice, but I kind of wish you'd start stacking or come down here to help out King Tekka because my man's down here is having one of the hardest lanes in his life. Let me get back to you on that because I hear Ignite coming out in a Fire Blast on the Matthew. King Tekka getting tossed down by the Rubik. And like this bottom lane for Sacred, like it's not the worst case because mid's going okay, top's going okay, but what I was getting at is Devat is just, he's got 2 CS to his name right now. It's not a good look.
I was going to say that's probably a bad thing. Oh, what's going on here? Matthew getting the fissure off on Stan Adler. He's going to have to run back off this, though. Batrider. What is going on, Mr. Batrider? He's getting lifted back in. Steinadler continuing forward here. He will have a Fade Bolt available. Down to 140 HP. Steinadler continuing forward. He isn't going to get it. He uses the magic wand. There we go. Steinadler will trade his life for that in the end, but hashtag worth.
Oh, man. Yeah, taking your one of your supports. I think he's the 4th position. He's one of the supports, and you getting rid of the offlaner who's already had a bad start. Leaving your PL to himself, that's like you said, hashtag worth.
You know, Family is having a pretty good time though.
He hasn't had anybody in his lane. Like, yeah, King Tekka was there for like a minute and a half or so, not even that, but he couldn't step up and he's about to go down again. Finds the Ogre in the middle of the night, stabbed by the Lancer. And within a minute, that's the second time the bat has fallen in the middle lane.
Mid-lane, Chris Brown getting hit with that fissure, jumping forward from Benji's here. One more hit, able to finish him off. Masoku's been making some serious movement for a hero that is typically classified as being a very defensive support. The movement he's making is building so much space.
I don't know how you're going to give Masoku all the credit when it was the nice fissure from Matthew. Sure, it wasn't enough to get the block, but just the damage and the stun to allow Benjaz to step up really sealed the deal for Sacred. And I think they're going to try to swoop in on middle, see if they can take Chris Brown down again.
Dire's bottom tower
And this is the problem with running a Tiny in general, because he's a little awkward in the early laning phase.
Hey, come
needs
top.
a lot of
Come
babysitting.
top. Come top.
Top, Leo style. What's the talk about on top? Leo style is already dead.
Well, the talk is, guess who's already up here? Stein and Mauger. Just another day in the office for them to lift in the Fire Blast. And even though that's a level 5 Timber, that was not enough reactive armor to truck through that gank.
I was not anticipating this Brewmaster to be running on a Timbersaw that hard, but we're still seeing it happen here in the top lane. Using the Primal Spit, Leo style, forced to use his chain out, and he's not going to have any damage here, really. Cyclone is available if he wants to use it. There's another Whole Worlder coming out, and just surely but surely, he's chipping down Leo style. Probably going to be able to finish him up on here. Able to get with the Dispel, and now Amy, what's going on here? You're not going to have the mana. A couple more seconds might be able to see that happen, but Leo style is actually kind of playing with him right here. Now we got Steinhandler with the rotation, the lift. He's not able to right-click through it, though. Steinhandler is not having a good day, and Amy goes down! Hey, that's some serious regeneration coming out from Leo style.
Got all the way to the max stacks. Had 8 stick charges just when the Rubik came in the back with the Fade Bolt. It was good looks from Leo style to sit there and hold on for as long as possible. Bait the Brew under the tower and just take him down. Oh, man. But with all that, the dynamic duo is coming back to the middle lane to see if they can make some space for their Rockman.
This is what they need to do. Tiny is not having the best of times, but he's not having the worst of times. Alright, action's happening here. Mid lane, Batrider jumping forward. Chris Brown throwing out a stun. Benji's wants to continue forward, going with the blink. Chasing on him, and they are going to be able to get that kill. Benji's committing the ultimate on him. They're still continuing underneath the tower. Mogert going down now. And he's still going. Matthew hitting that fissure in on Steinadler. 3 of those sticky napalm stacks, and Benji's able to clean that one up. Great movement by their Batrider, recognizing that there were some serious kill opportunity in the mid lane, and that, yeah, Phantom Lancer's going to be farming, and he's having a pretty good time himself, but making some serious action happen for the anti-mage as a pick-me-up.
Oh yeah, with the Ring of Health and that allowed Ben Jazz to just keep pushing through the tower and lead the charge as they took down 3. Now, like you were hinting at, I want somebody to come down here and do something about this PL, because that is the only saving grace that Gorillas have right now. Matthew's trying to do something, but he's only a level 4 Shaker, and that is a level 8 Phantom Lancer chasing him up the steps. Not going to get the bounty room, but still going to see if he can hunt down this bear. Matthew's just trying to scuttle himself away. Takes another lance to the backside, and with the Phantom Rush in, nice totem. Oh, he thought about the fissure, held it, and just held his heart as he went down. Meanwhile, I thought more was happening in the top lane. My bad. Just fighting over a stack. Nothing big.
Well, they did poke in on that courier for a second, so...
It's got a shield. It's fine.
Now it don't. Uh-oh. Primal Split dedicated once again, and now here comes Batrider. He needs to retreat.
He's fine.
Yeah, you're right. Earth Spirit, or the Earth...
Panda?
Split? Panda? Yeah. Alright, well, he's going to run away. He'll be fine overall. Amy getting back in underneath his own tier 1 tower where he feels safety is, and Leo's rotating across that map.
Yeah, I like the idea just to be a big beefcake in front of the PL, not let him get a tower for free. Sure, he might not be able to do the most to stop the farm unless he just catches this Phantom Lancer, but the main objective is to hold on to the tower, which is why Masoku's down here as well.
Oh, top lane, Amy's gonna go down.
I hope you guys aren't trying to go into that, because you ain't got no damage up there.
I mean, Amy was hoping for something, but that's not the type of situation to be in, especially with your Primal Split off of cooldown.
Middle lane, bottom
lane. Let's talk on that one. We've got the... Yeah, Phantom Lancer's gonna get melted. Good on Mr. Leo style, and this is the type of thing that they needed to have happen, but Phantom Lancer already has his Diffusal Blade.
Part of me wants to be kind of shocked and amazed, like, really? How does he have a Diffusal Blade? But again, he's just been allowed to show us how well his CS skill has been in the bottom lane, and the first bit of action he had was far too late, in my opinion. I mean, sure, he doesn't have the bots to bounce around the map yet, but when fights start breaking out around towers, or when G-Pride starts to get the idea of push, he can actually show up and being a big contributor to anything that's going down. Can't say the same for the Anti-Mage just yet, who's right behind him on the network chart, but is still about 600 shy of that prize Demon Edge to allow him to really be able to hit the creeps with a completed Battle Fury.
Yeah, and we're looking at different item timings and different power spikes too between those two heroes. Anti-Mage wants to get a Battle Fury, and as much as he can look to take fights at that point, it's really going to be the CS game that's going to start to explode, and Phantom Lancer has the Diffusal, and that isn't going to be the sort of thing he's going to be caring about, because he's looking to fight once he has that puppy in his pocket.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
For the record, in the top lane, Mager was trying to see if he can give a little vision to Amy as they push the tower, ran into King Tekka, and Matthew more specifically. Matthew just kind of blocked him off, locked him in a fiery pit with the Batrider. Honestly, not too exciting. I say that, but I hope it was still on camera. Don't need all the camera emotes happening in Twitch. Probably did, though.
Tours. So how do you like Tiny as a hero in 707 with all the changes that have happened to him?
In the beginning, I was kind of like everybody else, even though I'm largely ignorant to the big scope of things, but I looked at him and I was like, he has no agi, he has no growth, and I saw like the beginning games of people trying him, and they just look terrible. But as I've seen some teams actually draft him and play around him, I'm starting to really come in tune with the power that he presents. Not just the power of the burst damage that he's always had, but the heroes that get played now, more specifically the expendable supports, which are toss fodder to set people up to come in at the end of the day. Now, we're not really seeing that.
Batrider taking some heavy fire here. Yeah, able to get the primal split off before the Fisher connects in on him, and Masoku throwing out that Chain Frost, and another pause. Some disconnections happening here.
Oh, no.
Seems like we got some connection issues yet again, unfortunately.
Man, somebody could just A-click him on the tower. We'd be fine.
I don't even know what to say about that, you know.
And while that was happening, I was going to start talking about the hunt that Chris was leading against Benjaz, but Benjaz was able to blink out. So, yeah, not too much really happening there. It's going to be about the split versus Chain Frost in the top lane.
Yeah, Batrider is pretty low, and with the Primal Split already committed in, I would anticipate this being a death that is about to happen, but it wouldn't be the first time for me to get something like that wrong.
Well, that'd be status quo for you, but a serious question.
It'd be the first time today.
I probably could find something if I really wanted to, but no, serious question, since I do not play Brew and I can't get this when I hover, is King Tekka in Cyclone range from the Storm Panda? Because if he's in range of that, he's pretty much done. He is not.
No, he's not in it just yet.
Oh, he is now, so hard pressed to find him getting away from that. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Leo came to save his buddy, the anti-mage.
And we saw the Echo committed in on the top lane. What? We have a buyback here by the Batrider. Masoku about to go down here. Batrider rotating in, actually not falling. Matthew getting off the fissure. There's the lasso. They might be able to have enough here to hold down Amy. And Masoku lives. That Batrider buyback seeming like it paid off pretty well. And now they're going to put the pressure in on the mid lane. Benji's is forced back. He almost has his Demon Edge. In fact, there it is, bought on the courier on the way.
On one end, I look at the buyback and I question how much it was worth, especially since King Tekka couldn't get the last hit himself. But on the other end of the spectrum, Amy doesn't have any items yet. Like he has shreds, but he has a Midas queued up and he's thinking about a blink. So that death strategically puts him a little further away from it. And it puts both of them as the first initiation relatively close to the same blink dagger timing, assuming they would like keep the same amount of GPM. So it's pretty much worthwhile at the end of the day just to trip Amy up on the race to the blink dagger. And speaking of,
look at that, Bruce going for my favorite item.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a Midas.
No, I know it's a Midas. I just said that. This guy.
My favorite item.
But now thinking about other things that could come into fruition, Leo Style is down here contemplating of a hood. Has a perseverance though, so a little bit of the ways there. AM does have his battle theory. Don't know exactly what time he got it, but we'll just call it under 13 to make him look really good. Something that's not really good, though, is this gank happening in the top lane. Poor Matthew's been caught out. I saw a TP get canceled. Nobody wants to show up and be a victim to that as well. But in the bottom lane, that's a trade that is going to Sacred in a bigger trade because that's a tier 2 tower down as well.
It's crazy how Sacred has such an advantage, but only with certain heroes. Map-wise, a lot of this really favors G-Pride, and because of the pacing of what a Phantom Lancer is going to be looking to do and the time behind it, I feel like all the pacing is going to be on G-Pride, even though Sacred has this minor advantage. And look at that, Masoku, mid lane, Chain Frost, connecting in on both Moger and Chris Brown. Rubik going to steal the Frost Blast. We've got 1-2 dead. Stun is still continuing out here. They're trying to...
Ooh, that Bloodless PO, let's go.
Oh, he's ready for murder. The Diffuse Blade action has happened. Leo Style not going to have any mana. Steinadler picking up that kill there. That's a killing spree going to him.
But it's going to Stein and it's not going to the PL, which, I mean, it's a kill nonetheless, but the bigger thing that happened at the end of the day was
that's ward money. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but even though wards do help out to win games, is that as important as your carry getting the last hit? Not really. Because the bigger thing that happened was Benjaz was able to get the last hit on Chris Brown, allowing him to get a smaller lead over the PL in the net worth chart. Again, not the biggest one, but still, like, it's really crucial to see where the money goes when these skirmishes break out. We're trying to see if we can get a little more in the pockets of G-Pride as they see Matthew. But the creeps actually block Steiner for a second. When he steps in, he gets a fissures him down, but nobody wants to commit on that. Little too close to the tier 2 tower.
Oh, we've got the ultimate committed in. Echo Slam to stop that TP from Steiner. The Leo Style coming forward, able to clean him up.
I mean, I don't know how close anything was to coming off a cooldown, but yeah, you're not going to take that fissure and walk away from Matthew. Jeez. And they're still actually trying to chase Amy. They are. Leo Style just trying to see if he can chain to the banner, which does not work. You know, Amy could buy the Blink Dagger if he wanted to. Has 30k or
Radiant's middle tower
he has the Blink Dagger. I don't need to say anything more. And we're going to see the reveal of it right here in the middle lane as he's TPing behind the trees. Doesn't want to blink in onto an anti-mage, but still showed it to him nonetheless.
I like that he got the Blink before a Midas, if he is still considering a Midas, because Midas doesn't help you get kills. It really doesn't. You want to wish it does, but nope.
I think he's just leaving it all in sticky buy, because immediately after buying the Blink, he queued up a Radiance as well. So it's just, you know, so much easier not try to deal with the UI. Speaking of Blinks, we see the debut of King Tekka's Blink, but he doesn't get a lasso on it. There's a split coming out on the backside.
Chain Frost also, that's going to take out that Fire Panda very quickly, and the Storm Panda almost going down. So they need to be kind of careful here. Leo Style taking a stun across the face from that Earth Panda, and what is going on here? That Whirling Death, in conjunction with that fissure from the Matthew Man, going to be enough to take him down.
I mean, he was moving the Storm Panda away. I don't want to go as far as to honestly call that Miss Micro, but I don't think he was. I hope he didn't think he was going to stay out there, because yeah, that's a Timber, and that was still a good pick against the Brew. In the middle lane, though, Matthew showing his Blink Dagger as he gets to block Chris Brown off, who just casually turns around, gets the CS, and oh, he thought about walking here.
He's got a Blink. He's jumping down in on this. Chris Brown throwing Leo Style up to the high ground, jumping forward. Matthew able to scoop that. They're not done just yet. Leo Style wants something here, but Batrider is under 150 HP here.
Nice.
Links out to disjoint that projectile. Phantom Lancer has joined the fray with his Boots of Travel. And he has Yasha now completed as well. He'll be jamming at a much higher move speed. Up to 440 MS, actually. And we're going to see Sacred Shrine up, then move out as Timbersaw has completed his Bloodstone. And there are some serious amounts of blinks going on in this game already. I mean, aside from the Anti-Mage, who has it innately, Earth and Bat and the Brew, all looking to see how much they can do by catching the enemy out of position with that level of initiation they provide.
Well, getting off of Blinks, Benjaz just picked up his mana as well, so still
bottom lane, Steinhandler wanted to TP out. Matthew able to catch him, hits him with a fissure, not going to be able to TP home. Continuing forward here with the Enchant Totem. Matthew, are you going to be able to get him here? It looks like it's possible. Man. Yep, there he goes. But across from it all, Leo Style actually cutting in on this wave, and we do have the Batrider man helping him out.
He cut into the wave, cut into the rock. Took a little hit from the tower as well. Things are still looking really solid for Sacred as they're sitting 7k up on the net worth chart. Have so much map control with the tier 2 tower down in bot, tier 1's down in mid and top. And they still have their tier 1 mid, so solid amount of control. A lot of room for this anti-mage to just bounce around the map at free will.
Radiant are
We got a scan
scanning.
coming out from the Radiant. Thinking that they're going to find something here to help them out knowledge-wise, but not going to happen just yet. Mid lane, we've got a lot of movement happening here from Team Sacred. They have some deep vision down too. I like this.
I was gonna say I like how Sacred keeps poking out from the middle lane to try to take this tier 2 and give all of the jungle to Ben Jazz to farm, because in my mind the one to do to kind of stabilize this game thus far is to try to take the mid tier 1 out, just to make it a little really hazardous for Ben Jazz to think about taking the Ancients on the Radiant side and opening up the Roche if they ever wanted to go there. But they can't really leave their base. There's just always a Timber sitting on their side of the tier 2 tower. They have to worry about the threat of King Tekka. They have to worry about Matthew with his Blink Dagger, even though he's showing in the bottom lane. There's just so many angles of attack that Sacred are threatening with.
Phantom Lancer is doing some work here on the Timber Saw, but even though he's doing some mana burning of his own, it's not translating to that much overall, because the reactive armor regeneration does really nicely against all of these things poking at him. He may have no mana, but
Shadowblade debut coming in hot.
oh yeah, he was able to find a lot of action there. Amy actually scooping that one up, and I love the Shadowblade on Mr. Chris Brown.
Oh, they get the lift onto the animation bottom. Yo, they took the tree at him. That still does absolutely nothing but look awesome.
Yo, Steinlander got a blink. This is, I'm not gonna be too presumptuous here, but you're a big Rubik player yourself. I don't know how much you enjoy stealing and using blink on a Rubik without having a dagger of your own to call home.
I mean, we don't have to talk about that too much. Stein literally just picked up his blink, or he literally bought it. He's walking back to base to get the mana for it. So
double blink.
Yeah, that's gonna be so good for him, especially with having a Shadow Bladed Tiny to scout out for him, so he doesn't have to take any crazy blinks. Because it's going to be a little while before they can get some deep vision to actually track down this anti-mage. Because Ben Jazz is still farming up a storm, sitting at 1,500k, working his way towards a butterfly.
I mean, we've got a 2,300 range initiation.
We have a man who just got tossed in the... Yo, that's not how it's supposed to work out, dude.
Now that Echo was on point. Now we got the Batrider hitting out with that lasso. Chris Brown forced to use a Shadow Blade to disengage. Leo style wants to jump forward. Not going to connect in on anybody just yet, but we have the Fissure. Mostly just dealing with illusions, though.
I still can't believe that happened. Just tossed the Brood to his death, and what a teammate.
Yo, that Echo. I love getting that extra value of just the jungle creeps for your Echo ultimate. It's
right.
Ugh, just so delicious. I like that the Rubik's been holding on to this blink as long as possible, because 2,300 range that he can move in like a second is insane.
But there's not a whole lot, no places he can really go with it, because their vision is getting taken out one by one since King Tekka is armed with the gem, making sure to snip out any vision that he can find, although he's still missing one ward. But yeah, there's like nowhere for Stein to really play with all this mobility. Still has to stay huddled behind his team. Like, their stomping grounds are getting snuffed out ward by ward as their last bit of outside vision, or their second to last bit of outside vision, goes down. But what's happening over here in the jungle, man?
Oh no, not too much to worry about with that one. We got Batrider and this Primal Split coming out now here. Masoku throwing out her Chain Frost. There's a lot of damage to this Primal Split, and actually Batrider gonna be okay. He's gonna walk out from this, but Chris Brown gonna go down. Matthew gonna be the one to help that kill be secured, and Amy blinking back. Batrider wants to have some sort of action happen here. Anti-Mage is ready. Another blink will be available. He has Butterfly finished also, so he's able to chase him down with that Flutter help, and he is just destroyed.
Tier 3 or Roche, or I guess they could also go tier 2, but they already have a creep wave right here, so they can try to quote-unquote force a buyback. They don't know Bro doesn't have his, I believe. They might, seeing as he have a Midas off cooldown. Oh, no.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But
Reminds me of myself.
Radiant's middle tower has
but even
fallen.
with that thought, tier 3 is no more. Mid-racks,
This
same.
is so crazy. They're pressing in on this high ground. And I mean, we're not seeing any Leviathan sub 20-minute pressure and ending game sort of nonsense, but we had a mid anti-mage also, okay?
I mean, you say it's just a mid anti-mage. It was really a mid tri-lane that just got so much space for him. And sure, they sacked the bottom lane to the PL, but it's looking like Ben Jazz has been winning the arms race the entire time. Still sitting on top of the net worth chart with his Manta, Battle Fury, and his Butterfly, thinking about a Basher next.
Radiant's
And
top tower
I
is
think
under
everything is played into the hands of Sacred. Like, they've weathered. What's up?
The Timbersaw and the Anti-Mage both have 730 experience per minute chiming through on those guys. That's just insane experience growth, and I mean, the Anti-Mage is mirroring that on his GPM also. But just absolutely wild to see that sort of nonsense happen there.
Yeah, with that high GPM, that shows why they're the only two who've cracked level 20. Ben Jazz with the infamous Blink Illusion, so he has an extra buddy whenever he wants to call the squad to take towers. You see him leaving one behind as he goes into the fray.
Yeah, Chris Brown throwing out a toss right now, getting a little bit controlled here, and he's just gonna fall. Matthew using his Shadow Aim to try and mitigate as much of this initiation possibility from the Brewmaster, but they're chasing forward on here. Moger about to go down. Leo style securing the kill on him, but they're jumping forward on Steinadler. He's also been taken out, and Moger is calling a GG. That is G-Pride taking a L, and Sacred
I'm glad you got that.
just showing a very dominating presence from that early game stage. Like you said, try on try mid lane action, leaving the top and bottom as solo players, and those movements coming out of Sacred were so meticulous yet calculated. Even that early buyback on the Batrider that kept the Lich alive and ultimately ended up securing a kill on Amy. Just so well executed.
That was a dominant performance by Team Sacred. I knew we were going to have some funky lanes, but I did not think we would see the mid anti-mage tri-lane on tri-lane action. That was effective. Tiny was basically neutralized that game.
Yeah, putting anti-mage mid was a safer bet than just trying to go full force against the PL. And again, they did let the PL have free farm, but it was at the cost of anti-mage getting a few kills, being able to shut down the Tiny, who needs to come online early to like really stunt his power, and also giving the Timber a bit of room in the top lane to at the least get levels. The thing that I really think helped out Sacred so much was the picks of their supports, because just looking at them by themselves, they're not the greatest roaming duo. They're a strong defensive duo, but if you look at what they're working against, they were operating against a Rubik who has to come pretty close, put himself into danger to try to get a lift, or an Ogre who, as tanky as he is, pretty much has to stand on top of somebody to make them stop with the Fire Blast. So two good picks to mirror the movements of the G-Pride support and stop any attempts that they had to try to shut down a lane.
There were a few seconds when I saw that the Tiny, the PL, and the Brewmaster bloodlusted that I was like, wow, G-Pride might be in this, because they were hitting like animals. They were swinging so fast, but the
Did we see any towers hit with that bloodlust?
I did not see any towers get bloodlusted.
I don't think so, no.
I think the Ogre was too far out of position by the time the towers were being taken for it to even matter.
Right.
And even so, I think Timber can kind of just like sit there.
Yeah, like a lot.
And just not care.
A lot of the times where like you would really think the Bloodlust Towers, which is around the tier two range, you have to think about what was panning out. The tier 2 bottom went down with no contest. I don't even know what happened in the tier 2 top, but mid, every time that Sacred came across and wanted it, you had Leo style parked in between the tier 2 and the steps. So it's not like Margaret could even walk up and bloodlust it unless he wanted to lose his life in vain.
Yep. So let me bring you guys. Hello. We're all.
Hi.
Oh, we're in the eye again. We are going to just take a quick break. We'll be back with the draft of the second game, possibly last game of the night if Sacred pulls another one out of their sleeves. But don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Calling all Amazon shoppers and lovers of Bitcoin. Want to enjoy huge discounts while shopping with Bitcoin and save on millions of products? Purse.io is now better than ever before. With Name Your Discount, users stand to save an average of 15% on all their purchases. Buy now. Instantly search for Amazon items on Purse.io and save 5% just by using Bitcoin to check out. Purse.io. Finally, a reason to use Bitcoin.
All right, we are back. Boys, how we doing?
10
I'm
seconds
doing
remaining.
okay. How about
Oh,
yourself?
we are doing fabulous.
I love it.
Radiant
So
team
we
back.
are just about to pop into the draft phase. It is
Dire
already
team back.
second game, Sacred versus G Pride. This is the battle of the lower bracket finals. Whoever comes out on top of this is
Radiant's
going to
team
face
back.
Team Leviathan, a dominating force throughout this entire tournament in the grand finals.
I want to see some Stormhammer strategies out of one of these teams here.
Pull it Team
Meteor
Leviathan
hammer?
style.
Ban
Meteor
hammers.
hammer all the way.
Nah. Stormhammer, Banhammer. I'm going to call it anything but what it actually is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Stormhammer would have meant you were
5
talking about
seconds
Sven, but
remaining.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Oh, okay. I'm still really hard pressed to believe it with the way they've been playing with so much in-your-face aggression and not so much of I'm trying to play well, pretty much split and looking at tower, specifically the rat game. So I don't think you're gonna really see any chance of that until we get to the grand finale itself.
So pretty similar bands from last time. It looks like Sacred does not want their precious Lich used against them. I think Lich did do a lot for them, but I don't think that was like completely the game winner. Maybe it was. I mean, you had him mid denying experience on the Tiny, on top of the fact that Tiny was getting killed over and over. So maybe Lich really was the magic key to that draft last game.
It was pretty powerful because you have to consider, yeah, like you said, it was keeping the wave close to the tower, or at least on their side, which was safe for Anti-Mage. It was giving them armor through Frost Armor to make him a hard target to go against. Same thing was happening in the top lane as Masoku was roaming between mid and top more often than not. And he was just providing a slow as well to help set up Matthew with the fissures, or to slow anybody down for Benjaz to get on top of them and burn the mana away. So yeah, I would say like he was an unsung hero of the first game.
Taking their sweet reserve time here with this band. They're either, I think King Tech is either AFK or he's not letting anything slip by.
I mean, you got to think, man, this is their like last potential game in the bracket of alternative success.
This is their way out. Yeah, they win this, they're
Um,
done. They're free.
Actually, I think I see everybody disconnected from the game. Yeah,
Dire
they did.
team back.
How did they rehost? We're sitting here speculating. Oh my god, that's funny.
You're welcome.
All right, bringing you guys back up on camera just momentarily while we pop back in this lobby. Sorry about that, viewers. We're like, is King Tekka AFK? You guys are rejoining up in the lobby?
I'm trying to find it.
Beautiful.
There it is.
All right. So, I mean, we all, I guess we have a sneak peek of what the first couple bands are going to be. We had Lich band out, and the same two from Gorilla's Pride, which was the Earth Spirit and the Night Stalker. This tournament has been super focused on removing those really powerful roamers from the game.
And with that in mind, and what Sacred likes to ban, I imagine that Spirit Breaker has to be somewhere in the last two that they have available. Which, again, I'm assuming that they're being forced to stick to the bands that they've already presented. So I would imagine that they would take the Spirit Breaker off the table, because they did last game. and G Pride has first pick again, and that would solve a lot of the problems they had in the early game.
Oh, well, this makes sense. Mr. Sky is missing at the moment. Whoopsies. So, we will be right back with you in just a moment.
Here we are.
You back in the lobby, buddy?
Is it a new lobby?
Yeah, new lobby.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like my Dota crashed like as all that other shit was crashing too.
So, Doggy, what's our strategy? How do we knock Sky out at tournament week? Every single day of the week.
You ban Abaddon, you ban Dazzle,
Doesn't-
you
it
ban
doesn't-
Axe, and
it doesn't-
Medusa.
No, we don't have to do any of that. It doesn't matter
No
what hero.
ban draft, exactly.
It doesn't matter what we banned against you. All we have to do is like pick an actual team and take objectives because you're gonna be an item behind. So, and then you're gonna, like you just said, you like playing these defensive supports anyways that don't really work unless you have great coordination. So, pick actual supports that can roam and kill stuff, and then just walk over them.
I like that strategy. I want to get those sweet Dota cash monies.
I mean, the first one has $200 available in on it, and over the whole week, you're looking at total of 4 G's. That's more G's than I would be giving people.
So
What?
we're just waiting for one more player to enter this lobby, and we are ready to roll out with the second game.
It looks like we're waiting for our PL, whoever that may be.
The dot
don't know if
dot
it's-
dot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's DLC or if it happened to be a stand-in or somebody. It's been the mystery man throughout the entire tournament for him.
I really liked when Sword Amy played for Elite Wolves.
The first game, that second one,
Oh God, let's not talk about that one. That was a little bit of a nightmare.
yeah.
Not the Bane Elemental kind either.
I mean, that's what it felt like because we were waiting for so long for all the pauses. I mean, it says something when the other team is willing to pause for you just to get everything sorted out and try to get the game going.
Hey,
For
man,
sure.
frustration is a thing, and that's what was happening. It's so easy to get frustrated over just pauses and all of the bugs and glitches associated with it.
I mean, they didn't have to get too frustrated that much after all the pause time went up. They could have just told them to play the game, and with the admins in there, they would have had to play the game.
Hell, we're paused right now and I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, one day it won't be that way, but today it is.
Sky, I'm blaming your Midas Gaming.
You can try to.
I'm blaming your Midas Gaming.
See, you're thinking Midas Gaming, but what if the new thing out of me is going to be just like,
New out of you, you're funny.
hey. The new meta, it's going to be the Nullifier Rush.
Nullifier Rush. When you could have had a sweet, sweet Radiance.
Yeah, fuck a Radiance. We're going to get Nullifiers.
Okay, that's a good item. No joke.
It's pretty solid. Solves a lot of problems that some people had in last patch. And how do I actually stop Necrophos from existing
Yeah.
without having to be a diffusal carrier? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice that
Pretty-
it also does a purge on top of the mute. Not mute. Yeah, mute effect.
Yeah, yep, it's Dispel and Mute.
Pretty
And
strong.
then if every time they're hit over the interaction of the Nullify, they're slowed by 100% for 0.4 seconds. So it's just kind of like those micro stutter type things. I don't know, I can see that going well with someone who attacks incredibly quickly.
For sure.
But with the range, it has to be somebody who, like a melee, that attacks quickly.
Troll. That's the one that comes to mind the most for me.
Yeah, Troll's good. It's a late game item. It's good with so many people.
Yeah, you don't rush it. Even though I said it.
Don't listen to Sky.
No,
he will not be walking away with tournament week money.
The intelligent player does not rush it. Sky rushes it.
You know, I meme a lot more so than how I actually play and recommend others to play.
Fair enough.
Only a grain can be taken with this here, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I ain't buying it.
We are back into our attempt at a draft phase for Game 2, Sacred vs. Gorilla's Pride.
Radiant
Coming up
team
right
back.
now.
Dire
They-
team ban.
They switched priority. Sacred has the first
Radiant
pick now.
team
I think that's why they re-hosted it. It might have been
Okay.
incorrect.
Huh. So that means a lot of the onus has to come
seconds,
on
Dire
to
team
Gorillas to ban the important roamers or supports that they don't want to be played with again, like the Lich, for example.
Yeah, it's funny that they swapped out their first ban to Bane. Maybe
because-
the Lich ban was a mistake after they
5 seconds
It
remaining.
felt like a weird ban. Like it didn't seem quite right.
It
But,
seemed okay. Like for what they had in the last draft, it seemed
Yeah.
okay because Gorillas had the
Radiant
first pick,
team
so they
back.
didn't want to give it away. But now that Sacred has the first pick again, that's what I'm getting at. It's
Oh,
like
I see what you
it's,
mean.
it's Gorillas' responsibility to take it out if they don't want to see it again. And with one pick left, they are leaving Sacred with either the Lich or the Shaker if they want to take one of those again. Which I wouldn't be
10
surprised if they
seconds
took
remaining.
either one or both,
Lich or the Shaker or the Spirit Breaker,
5 seconds
or the Spirit
remaining.
Breaker.
unless they ban it right now.
That would round out the same 3 bans that they had in the first game.
Have we had any Winter Wyvern bans within this series?
I haven't seen a
No.
ban. Plenty of picks, but no bans.
Sacred
I'm not
doesn't
trying
play,
to like say that as an endorsement to get it, but
Dire
neither
team
one of them
back.
play Winter Wyvern. And there's the breaker gone. So the same 3 bans coming out of Sacred.
Do we remember who the last ban was for G Pride?
Silencer.
It's a good ban. That hero is so
10
annoying.
seconds remaining.
Oh, did you want to have a team fight?
5
Be a shame if you
seconds
were
remaining.
silenced.
Radiant team pick.
Ah, the
Dire
classic
team
don't
pick.
accidentally pick puck. Yep, you were right. They want the Lich. It enables a lot of powerful lanes. Lich doesn't even need to walk around. His feet are tied up. He still does fine.
Dire
well, he
No.
floats,
team pick.
so he's good.
Not only does it enable a lot of lanes, even if a lane looks very poorly, it allows you to just draw, and it gives somebody a chance that they probably didn't deserve by allowing you to keep the tower closer. Again, it also makes somebody a very hard target against certain ganks
10
with the
seconds
armor.
remaining.
You can be a little bit aggressive. He's not like the most pressing
5
support,
seconds
but
remaining.
if you're allowed to sit in range, you can slow people to let bigger threats come in on them. So he's really strong. He's been strong for patches.
You
He
think we're
could
gonna see a
even-
Rubik here for G Pride?
I'd expect they'd pick it, but I think later, like they did last time, because there's more important heroes they could pick up right here that could get
Such as?
banned out.
Let's see a
Gotcha.
Brewmaster again.
Brew would probably be the pick, because I think Sacred probably recognizes how powerful it was, and that was one of the only real threats G Pride sort of was able to produce. I'd ban it. I'd ban it if I
How-
was Sacred.
But how well I was gonna say, how much of a threat was it really at the end of the day, seeing as PL was the only real benefactor from the lanes, but they were able to put the Blink Dagger on the Brew in a decent amount of time. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that if it was left on the table, it'd be erased in the second phase. It's kind of questionable in my mind.
Team pick.
Yep.
Hmm.
This is their tried and true. They love opening with
Dire
this.
team ban.
Earth Shaker.
Yep. They gotta ban the anti-mage because otherwise they're gonna play the same exact game they just played.
Radiant
Yep.
team ban.
There's the anti-mage ban. Now, if you wanted to run a similar draft and you didn't have the anti-mage, what are some thoughts on heroes you could take? Ah, the
Radiant team
Huskar.
ban.
Told you it was strong.
Would Jug fit a similar
Dire
role
team
as Aim?
Yeah.
It's nowhere near the same.
But it's the same idea. You pick it, kind of bait it as it being your carry, and then you just send it mid and you grab a different carry that might be a little more effective versus whatever they pull up.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
so either
Sure.
way. That what's up?
I was gonna say I'm trying to mine in on some stats here to see what is a possibility for G Pride against Sacred, especially with this Lich ES combo. But it's really just looking, I don't want to say standard to the picks that we've seen from G Pride, but that is literally what we're seeing here. Ogre, Rubik, Brew, we've seen those three thrown together on the same squad many times.
The Brew is just fit. I don't think you can get a higher caliber offlaner besides like Beastmaster. Yeah, see the troll's pretty nice. That's gonna be their carry probably, but they could still throw that mid if they wanted to. If the lineup seems like it's gonna be favorable.
With a nullifier rush, right?
Of course,
Stop.
the Sky
Seconds
special,
remaining.
Stop.
and then you have the Midas right after.
No,
5
Perfect.
seconds remaining.
Perfect.
I'm signing off. See you later.
Doggy's out. None of this.
Mm. So if you have your offlane for G Pride, you start thinking about what you can use for like your early damage. Because again, like Brew can possibly get a pick if he's like a decent amount of levels ahead of somebody, so he can get a good split and a couple of claps afterwards. But he's gonna need some consistent damage behind
Nice.
him. Ember Spirit?
That's gonna be their mid, and that if they try to screw around with like a, oh, they are going to. So
There's
that's
your guy. You
that's-
got your Magnetar, Quicksilver.
That's mag mid. So already, just looking at this lineup, Sacred has way better team fight buffs because the Frost Armor is going to negate a lot of what the Bloodlust brings to the fight, and they have
Right.
the advantage of the cleave that's going to be on Troll Warlord. But to a lesser extent, Earthshaker's Enchant Totem is going to deal a lot of damage if he's empowered. Almost like he's a little miniature
10
semi-carry.
seconds remaining.
They're also going to pick a melee
5
either
seconds
offlaner.
remaining.
I can't. Their lineup is just so great. It's not clear what they're going to do with it yet, which gives you so much advantage going into the game.
I'm thinking that this Magnus is gonna wind up offlane.
He could. That makes the most sense. He could probably hang out mid,
Radiant
but it seems like you can
team
put a higher value hero mid.
I liked the Ember Spirit initially for like a split second prior to the Magnus getting picked up because of the possibility of him juking and playing with the enemy through his remnants.
10
But
seconds remaining.
Magnus is going to do a great job at taking out that Flame Guard.
5
and
seconds remaining.
Also, RP is... it's a pretty good spell.
I feel like Sacred could just take a Tidehunter. If they wanted to.
Wouldn't
It'd be
that
hard
leave,
for them to deal with right now, at least. But I think part of that has to do with G Pride only having 4 heroes.
Look at the insanity though of that team fight if they throw a Tide in there.
But don't they leave themselves susceptible to like a good ranged last pick to really like just cut through the girth of a Tide front line? Timber, I like Timber better because there's mobility behind it. So
and he's
you
more
can't
survivable.
Yeah, you can't pick something that just like sit away from what would have been a Tide, something like a sniper, for example. Because if they would have had a Tide, like what actually dives in the back line, like you don't specifically want to send your Magnus in the front and let them get instantly lifted by a Rubik or fire blasted. Oh,
that is a good
Sun
hero.
Wukong!
That is a good hero, especially versus Timber. Everyone's thing is like, oh, Monkey's countered by Timber. But he can just whack Timber and kill him through reactive armor for most of the early levels of the game.
Yeah, it's all about the timing.
I think, though, that it's we're probably going to see... It's not going to be the tri-lane versus tri-lane mid again. I think Monkey is probably safe with the Rubik. It's probably going to be Timber offlane against Brew again.
The G Pride supports are going to stay together. Magerstein, they've spent so much of their time together with that duo. So I'm hard pressed to believe they'll split them up. Because even if you split them up, like how much does Ogre really get done on his own? Like, in what lane does he go to like really be like a thorn in somebody's side? And he doesn't get matched against like an Earthshaker and the Lich.
All I'm saying is I think they're going to wind up. I think they need to exploit the mag in the off lane. Because if they try to start out mid the same way with the Lich and the Earthshaker just backing up the Troll, I don't think they're going to have a good time. They might not even do that. They might just put Timber mid.
I don't think that's realistic, but we'll see what ends up happening because we're in game 2 of Sacred versus G Pride.
Good luck, have fun, boys.
So yeah, as I mentioned, this is potentially the last game of the night. Hopefully not, because I'm a man who likes to watch some dotes, but who are you going to put this on, Mr. Doggy Sandwich?
I don't know. I still have a lot of faith in the duo of Rubik and Ogre, but with what happened last game, I think they're going to have another situation where it's really hard for them to break any of the lanes down. Like, they have enough control to catch this Magnus, but they have to line up all their stunts to make sure he doesn't skewer away.
30 seconds to battle.
If Leo's not winning his lane hard, that means he'll probably have a couple of points in the chain, or at least one. So it's another situation where the coordination has to be there to lock him down as well. So the easiest target would have to be the Troll, but it's a question of will they be able to just stand up to the Troll. So I'm really on the fence about this one. At least in the beginning.
The battle begins.
Ask me later when I see somebody winning, and I'll tell you exactly. I'll take it in the end.
All right, so we have a little bit of aggression here from the Dire with how they moved rotation-wise into the game, and Steinadler looks like he wants to place down an Observer Ward deep behind the Tier 1 tower in mid. Maybe look to get a courier snipe if possible. And we do actually have a tri-lane coming out from Sacred in the mid lane, just like how we saw in the last game.
Yeah, I think Stein's going to actually opt.
Oh, Matthew, he's gone behind. He's smoked up. He's going to get the courier. Whoop-pow! Down it goes.
I'm really surprised that happened because
Go for it.
he did that in the first game. So they had to have known it was coming out again, and they didn't see him anywhere on the map. They paid so much caution to it in the first game.
Oh, great stun on Chris Brown in the mid lane. They're going to be able to follow up in on here. Benji's getting some right clicks off, throwing out the whirling axes. He's going to be able to get slowed down. Use the fairy fire down to 20 HP. Chris Brown wants to run in on those dragons. The dragon's taking out Chris Brown. Not that that can count as a first blood.io, but good deny at that.
Still everything that Sacred wanted, giving a little room to Ben Jazz. And the one thing that didn't cross my mind is the fact that there's extra time on you if you get denied out. So I kind of wonder if it would have been better for him to just die so he can already be back in lane, because now he's pretty much a full level behind Ben Jazz, and that frees up the Lich and the Earthshaker to leave and go elsewhere if they really want to.
That's some theory crafting you're talking on, really, for the value overall. If it's better to give up a first blood,
I mean,
to get back to the lane sooner.
Okay, look at this middle lane. Like, what do you do in this scenario to get level 2? Ben Jazz is literally on the steps, just kicking the crap out of Chris Brown. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, Ben Jazz is just going to be looking to right-click, and Chris Brown wants to try and do the same, but armor-wise, not going to be in anywhere, shape, or form the same spectrum to be able to trade hits. Ember much better against magic damage early on with the Flame Guard, but Benji's will never be able to break the Flame Guard at the same time. I don't want to say it's a double-edged sword, because that's not exactly right. It's more of a different play style that both of these players are going to have to adapt behind. And not that it was mentioned too heavily, but this Magnus is a nice hero to choose against the Monkey King also, because of the skewer more than anything else.
Oh, they have a lot of
some
good
trees and ugh.
Like, if you think about it, they have a lot of good heroes against Monkey King. They have Magnus, like you said, to skewer and just take out the trees. They have Earthshaker with the long fissure just to fish into trees. They have Timbersaw that his middle name is Tree Killer. Like,
there are trees everywhere, man.
The question is, how long will they last against this Sacred squad? Our Monkey King will have to be oh so careful when he looks to bound up to the skies.
Amy and Leo trading some hits down here in the bottom lane, and we got that early Bloodlust swag that we've seen in many of the games from Moger. Now, I'm curious what they're going to look to do here in the mid lane as Steinhandler rotates off down towards the bottom lane, and these are all things that G-Pride are able to kind of move and rotate behind because they have good vision down here, as does Sacred. The same sort of spot. So all these movements are going to be spotted out, and they can hopefully respond to them appropriately.
I'll just, while we have a second, I want you to hit your CS chart button and notice something, all right? Look who's at the top, and then look who's at the bottom.
Rip. You know why? It's because there's no poor man shield in the game anymore.
Oh, I'm sure that's the only reason why this middle lane is going so terribly for Chris Brown. Just wanted to get that out of the way. The thing I find really interesting, though, is like with the way his lane is and the fact that he does not have a CS to his name, less than every support technically, nobody's come to help him. They've just left him high and dry.
That's putting a lot of pressure on Chris Brown to do well, especially considering the start that he had. Having to deny himself out and everything behind it. This puts pressure on the Brewmaster and Monkey King to both do well, and when we can look at that last hit chart overall, we're kind of seeing it in that sort of translation where both the off lane and safe lane doing better than their counterparts and sacrificing their mid, so to speak, in order to make that happen. Matthew smoked up in the mid lane, hitting in on him with the enchant totem. Steinhandler taking a nice smack across the face. Benji's wants to go in on this one. Matthew getting that first blood.io, scooping it up with that enchant totem, but the aftershock damage, realistically, being that winner.
Now you need to come back down here to this bottom lane, the one that Stein left, because there is a Timbersaw who's getting beaten in the backside by an Ogre and a Brew. Nice TP Fissure to come in to give him the space as he turns around, trying to take the salve out of Amy, but just does not have the speed to catch up to a Brew who has boots, just picked up the purple boots as well. So that's Gonna be a little damage taken off of the Timber, but not enough to take him down just yet.
I was really happy that we saw that timing of that TP come in from Matthew. They cannot afford to give up this lead that they have because of how well the game is going for Amy, comparatively speaking, to elsewhere across the map. Steinhandler's rotating down here now. Timber chain back by Leo. Good fissure block by Matthew. Steinhandler dropping him in, throwing him back. Mogert throwing out a stun of his own, and now Amy getting pressured off. Whirling Death doing a great job burning down those primary attributes, and Leo Style just is going to poke away at Steinhandler a little bit. Except this is a lot of damage that they're taking in a brief amount of time.
Dude, I still can't get over this Ember. Like, Chris was just over here farming the small camp. He has less net worth than the Rubik and the Shaker, man. Like, this is beyond getting sacrificed. This is being a martyr for your team.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Lane has just been given up for the greatest of causes. Like, Matthew's hanging around here. I don't know why. Masoku's hanging around here. I don't know why. Nobody's coming over here for another 3 or 4 minutes. Go party elsewhere, dudes.
Well, we see some partying happen in the middle lane. Benji's is just getting the most free of all lanes possible.
Yeah, that's the lamest party.
Stacks the Ancients. Matthew rotates to the top lane. RP committed. Skewer him back underneath the tower. Double rotation? No, just one. Matthew here. Hit with the stun, hit the fissure. They're able to scoop him out. That Monkey King is not much of a liver. Bottom lane, though, Leo Style getting slashed down by the sword Amy. Man, Drunken Brawler is such a good spell. And by spell, I mean passive.
Skill.
Yeah, that would be more appropriate.
So yeah, that was 1 for 1, but it was more in the favor of G-Pride as Amy got the solo last hit kill as opposed to it being split in the top lane. Oh, speaking of top lane, there's Dominus Strike coming out. Not more coming out the King Tekka. But the point I'm trying to make is it's still relatively even across the board with just the big disparity in mid laners. Like, I'm dumbfounded by that. I really don't know how long it'll take for Chris Brown to be a factor, and they might just find him in the middle lane TPing it. Only level 4, so
Masoku coming in with here. Great fissure on him, but not gonna block it off entirely. Flame Guard's gonna go down. They hit with a Frost Blast. Now Benji's charging in on here. He's gonna go down.
He just
not a good day.
He just TP'd there, so he's gonna have to take that long walk of shame back to try to see if he can hit level 6. Stein trying to get away.
Level 6, trying to hit level 5.
Yeah, I know, but what point in time do we really start seeing Ember bouncing around the map and starting to make his way back into the game level 6? And yeah, just like you said, that is so far away. Meanwhile, across the river, his adversary, Benjaz, already level 7, sitting pretty on top of the net worth chart. Like, again, that is the entire tale of the game so far. I almost want them to just, like, let Chris start buying wards. That's what it feels like. Maybe they can swap to a mid Rubik. Just call an audible, see what happens with it.
Man, you're talking about like some clowniness that you've been forced to do many a time before.
Yeah, that's a classic Sky strat right there.
I have never purposely said, yo, Dogi, you're going mid Rubik. Primal Split, bottom lane, coming out from the Brewmaster, throwing out a Hurl Boulder, and the lift from Steinadler, throwing him back in. Leo Style getting thrown up by the Cyclone.
He's a little too early.
Lay it out. We got the Hurl Boulder kitting in yet again. Fade Bolt 2. One more strike. Sword Art Amy taking that kill out on the Leo Style.
I thought he was looking to interrupt the chain directly with the Cyclone, but now he's just waiting for the whole Hurl Boulder, looking to toss them rocks. Yeah, that seems to be the GOAT for Sacred is Leo Style, but still he's being able to make ends meet. Again, he's just a Timbersaw, so all he really wants is level. Still looking for his 6 as well to get his chakram.
Dire's middle tower is under
Amy
attack.
is doing a great job at pressuring Leo style here, and Benji's has almost 40 denies. Not to
Does he really?
ping pong around on it, but like, oh my god. I don't even know the last time I've seen something like that. Troll Warlord is out of control with his farm right now. Mask of Madness, Yasha is going to be scooping up a Sanj in
Radiant's
just another
bottom
couple
tower
minutes.
is under attack.
I don't know what you do.
We're talking about a Troll Warlord that's nearing a
Radiant's
600
bottom tower is
GPM
full.
game at sub 11 minutes.
I
That's
mean,
terrifying.
the one silver lining that I see on the Gorillas right now is Amy walked over to pick up Blink Dagger, but again, aside from getting one kill, well, Chris Brown went down. Down to Sad Town. But aside from like being able to get one pick with a split, it's going to be a long time. Well, I can't say too long of a time before anybody can help out. Like, they have a Monkey King, but it's been a fairly silent game for him. He's second on the net worth chart, but
He's
gotta
going for
get
a Battle Fury.
Yeah. You want me to cope?
Yeah, I don't like that one. I don't think that's the item for a Monkey King. Now, these guys are much higher tier than myself, but there's so many things that you can have to increase your impact earlier on, and they might be looking more in the direction of the mid to later on. But mid lane, though, we've got the bash in on him. Steinhandler getting lifted, dropping him back. Leo style. He's going to go down. Steinhandler getting the kill on that. Primal Split committed in. Echo was committed also, but
Oh, this is a valuable shaker if they can get him.
Middle tower is under attack.
yeah, he's got some money in his pocket, and that pocket of money is going to him. Steinhandler is going to take that kill, but what is that? That is a 12-minute Roshan.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That is terrifying. And you know, this fight recap not really going to show much overall. Even the net worth not showing too much of a dominance. XP though showing a different story, and that's sacred all the way. But Troll Warlord's going to have Sanj and Yasha now online. He's going to be hammer jamming it about. But bottom lane, goodbye Leo style. You had a good life. Swordheart Amy taking him out.
Yeah, he was able to actually stand around for 4 minutes this time before he took a trip back to the well. Found his way over the Rubik and the net worth chart, but still under Matthew, who's the surprise sleeper for Sacred. Just a few camps away from getting his Blink Dagger again.
That is such a fast Blink Dagger.
Yeah, for a 4-position Earth Shaker, a quote-unquote 4-position Shaker. I say quote-unquote because he's another support who's been coming out very well in this, sitting above his offlaner who's been sacrificed time and time again. I say offlaner, it was actually their Timber who was in the safe lane. Might as well be the offlaner at this point.
Semantics.
Yeah.
RP's ready on Magnus. We can see another team fight possible for Sacred when they want to.
Oh yeah, especially since he's walking up and getting his blink as well.
Nice multicast on Matthew in the mid lane, showing that RNG strong. And Matthew not looking too hot. Chris Brown actually getting a kill here. These kills for him are going to end up translating to so much with how poor his early game went. And this could be a tier 1 mid tower, turn that favor back. But top lane, they're trading at tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, they have to get as much as they can get out of the map. G-Prod can't really fight the full force of Sacred as is.
Oh,
Seeing what
RP
happens
stealing in on the mid
side.
lane. Steinhandler tried and did steal RP, but died immediately, and it didn't actually actualize. So, never happened.
Oh, it happened. Oh, it happened. It just didn't amount to anything. What could be something that was his bottom lane with the
bottom
big
lane.
Echo Slam.
Chris Brown is not looking too hot. Primal Split committed in on this. Matthew, he's looking dead.
Well, there's a Spirit Panda trying to see if he can catch up to Leo Styles. Chucks him up in the air with the Cyclone as he calls for the surround. I don't think anybody else is coming
Dispel
out.
on his own. Throws out a Hurl Boulder. Shrine's procced out. Leo Style wants to do something. It looks like he was baiting a chain, but not going to be used here. Swordheart Amy blinking back and will be fine to fight another day.
How was Leo Style baiting his own chain?
It wasn't necessarily like baiting, but
I mean, that's what you said.
he was
Pump faking.
yeah, that's a better word for it.
But I still don't know how the Gorillas come back into this game. They couldn't take the tower that they went for in mid. They lost their tower in bottom. They can't really fight into this one, the second tower, because there's still an RP. Well, we'll see what happens in mid.
Amy gonna get hit in the face with a Frost Blast and actually scooping up a second one on that. Monkey King with the Battle Fury now finished, showing some of his own strength here as they take out the mid tower.
Okay, so I guess I was wrong. They could get mid. They got a kill as well. But again, they lost process. And what's happening in their base, Benjaz is mad and taking it out on a tier 3 tower. Like, I mean, tier 1 for tier 2 and some damage in your base. It's, again, there's trades that are just not working out in their favor at all.
We've got blinks on Mag and Earthshaker, so the level of initiation and control is going to be huge. RP used down here. There's the skewer. Shockwave also.
But that's just Aegis.
There. But back on in the backside, Magnus does go down. Benji's trying to get back on his own. TPing out. Is he going to be successful?
Yes.
No. Steinhandler's scooping that kill. This is a great trade for them. These are the sorts of fights that G-Pride needs to be able to take.
Finding the big prizes, trying to run away from the tier 3, cut them off at the pass at the shrine. That's exactly what the Gorillas need to get themselves back in the game. They're still far out, but they made a little dent into the banks of Sacred. Made sure to protect their high ground.
Check out that experience earn graph after that last fight. The net worth, not a big deal, but the experience? I mean, this is the sort of time in the game when the experience is a pretty big deal, because, I mean, we're looking at the level 10 talents coming online, level 15 talent if you're a Monkey King. Well, not yet, but soon to come at least. He'll get it at level 16. The opportunity's there, though.
I feel you.
Ember got his boots of travel, so that was his first major pickup, and with the Remnant now, hopefully we can see the level of split push and flexibility that we'd be hoping for in order for them to have the sort of progression that they need. And Troll Warlord has a BKB already finished.
Oh, man.
And we're talking a 700 GPM Troll, okay? How do you even do that?
You have a free mid lane?
Well, no, that was a little bit of a loaded question because they were stacking Ancients and stuff for him too. So it's largely thanks to that Lich and friends. Pressure coming out here on Benji's. They threw out the Searing Chain, Ignite, and the stun do hit from the Ogre also. Matthew pump faking on that Fissure, but does throw it down to connect in and put Leo Style a little bit out of the realm of possibility, but that ult.
Oh, the RP.
And what? We got RP stolen now too. Dead off that fight. Rubik is going to be looking pretty on his own if that RP is able to connect in, and he has his own blink.
Okay.
So Steinhandler can very likely turn the tide in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, it's not going to be in this minute because they just got stomped, dude. Like, Chris Brown, he felt a little too confident stepping up. Didn't have vision of everybody. He had the Remnant away, which didn't disjoint the Chain Frost, but Leo Style was sitting right on top of it, his escape route. Literally cut off the hole with the Whirling Death, and then they just turned around and burned everybody else. Like, you're talking about Stein with a blink and an RP. Like, I don't think they'll really be able to get in a position to do anything with it. Like,
the only problem I see is, aside from what you mentioned on the literal sense of their positioning, is are they going to be able to have the proper amount of follow-up damage to make some magic happen? And then on top of that, they gotta catch the Earthshaker.
I mean, they could, like, it would take all the planets aligning, because you have to think about what they have in their. They have RP, like you said, so that's going to group a lot of people together for this Battle Fury Monkey King that you hate so much, who still has the Wukong clan at his side. So they could do a lot of damage, but they have to see them coming to set this up. And I don't think a smoke into the darkness is everything they need. It's good to be a warding exposition, but the question is, will Sacred come in correctly and try to defend this tower and give Gorillas the key they need back into this game?
The Monkey King is looking really strong right now, and yeah, you're right, I was hating on that Battle Fury, but it has increased his farming speed quite a bit, along with, you know, some of his survivability too by way of the regen, but nicely on them, able to keep Leo style pinned down.
Farewell, my
Securing
friend.
that kill.
Gone into the Silent Night again.
Steinhandler only has RP for about another minute or so left, and there's the Primal Spit, keeping it out on Magnus, and that's the reveal of his Shadow Blade too. He tries to get back off it, but not going to be successful. Moger actually getting the kill on that one, and they had a Sentry down for this, except that was the Dire Sentry, not Radiant. So really just the persistence in on that damage over time, along with a little bit of love and RNG.
Oh my word.
They're able to get a double!
Just a double?
They want everybody, except they'll take 3 and be happy for it.
Jeez, I was starting to feel like the Gorillas might be able to romp back into this after they took 2, but Benjaz probably gonna get another one as well. Maybe gonna get another one as well. ...
Sword Amy blinking away. Oh no, the troll! He's able to hit in with those whirling axes, and he got a lot of misses, but it only takes 1.
Yeah, they got beat up, man.
Yeah, I could sense that loss of words that you're sitting on.
There's nothing to really say about it. Benjaz is just so far ahead. 4K ahead of the Monkey King, sitting at level 18. I mean, sure, the Monkey King 17, but those two are like, they're just powerhouses at this point. And if you're able to take the Monkey King out before you can really do anything, like, how does G Pride respond?
I think they respond by
Waving a white flag?
yeah, I was gonna say dying, but that's also a good answer.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Rubik doesn't have RP anymore. There's no big spell stolen from them. And Ember Spirit doesn't have any damage items. It's just him being level 13 and having a Boots of Travel. He's sitting on 2,500 gold, but Benji's is going to be finishing up his Scotty in just a moment here. We've got the Force Staff on the Earthshaker, and this is for zoning more than anything, but they're going to be able to pick Leo off this, maybe? No, maybe, maybe, I don't know. Hey, he's got Bloodstone, so that regeneration is strong.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bloodstone and some Frost Armor coupled with the hood, allowing him to walk away, heal up. And Joe, he's healing up fast. It looks like they're going to take a second stab at this tower.
It wouldn't surprise me if they took a third and a fourth, too, with the type of lead that they have right now.
It
on Troll Warlord jumping forward here. Oh, God, yo! He's getting destroyed off this. Benji's now with the BKB procced off. They're able to take that tier 3, and what? They're coming in on this. Here we go. Yeah, Benji's is just melting that
RP in the back.
Oh, RP.
And an Echo Slam.
Matthew cleaned that one. Stun there from that boulder onto the Troll Warlord. Magnus is throwing out some empowers on a team of his own, and that is making this Troll Warlord look pretty darn terrifying. That's our GG, yo!
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Yeah, the
25 minutes.
Monkey King tapping out for Gorilla's Pride, leading his Primate out of the tournament, as Sacred will be moving on into our grand finals against Team Leviathan.
Well fought to Gorilla's Pride. They have done so much to hold on, and, you know, not everyone can be that sort of squad to move through that bracket of alternative success. But Sacred will be the one to do so today. And some amazing performance we saw in this game, and, you know, ultimately, I feel like a lot of that was resting on the movement of our Shaker Man.
I honestly think the entire game came down to Chris Brown denying himself. Because when he denied himself, it was one thing where everybody's like, he didn't give any gold over, he didn't give first blood, but you spend so much time dead from respawn. Like, they nerfed that a while ago, so supports couldn't just throw all their mana away, deny themselves, and then get a free refill, right? So he spends so much time out of lane that allows Benjaz to almost get level 3 before he gets level 2. And the big thing is he can't pressure Benjaz. So that allows the Shaker, that allows the Lich, just go do whatever they want. And like you said, there were some stacks going on. There was some pressure going on in other lanes. But the big thing is they never really had to worry about the Ember the entire game. And that threw off their entire strategy. The Monkey King was looking for a Battle Fury so he could be the late game presence. But who was going to fill the shoes of the first man when the lanes broke down? Was it going to be Sword Amy with just a Blink Dagger? I mean, sure, again, he could pick off 1 or 2, but there's only so much a Brute can honestly do at the beginning of a game.
Dougie, I want to just chime in, and I completely agree with you. That Ember denying himself was completely devastating.
How much time difference are we really looking at?
It's like you die as if you're level 6 instead of level 1. So I think it's like 20 seconds or something like that.
It was 15 or 20, yes.
So he's missing like 2 waves almost.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, he was at 0 last hits when Troll was at 20. You can't recover from that. I kind of thought they lost the game basically at that moment when Ember was at the bottom of the net worth chart and Troll was at the top. The Ogre just wasn't enough to power them through. Even with Monkey King getting decent farm, their hole in the mid lane, like not having a real mid, was just too devastating for them to recover from, which is unfortunate for Gorilla's Pride. Sacred, on the other hand, they were just all in on Troll. Troll was mid, got all the farm. King Tekka chose to give him level 4 in power, which was letting him, I don't know, maybe as early as 10 minutes clear like a triple, maybe a quad ancient stack. I think it was just a triple, but he would have handled a quad just as easily with Empower and being a Troll Warlord.
Yeah, and that was right around the time that he snuck in that Roche as well.
That too. Like they lost I think they lost Matthew they lost 2 heroes, I think, under their mid tower. But
Matthew was one of them, yes.
It did not matter because they got Troll of Roshan out of it. The Roche didn't end up mattering, but the ability to play Brave with having the Aegis coasted them right through the mid game. They took every single tower, and they wrapped the game up pretty neatly. They had a little trouble sieging, but that was just because of the Wukong's command, and they basically, I think they caught Chris Brown out, right? They caught the Ember out, and then it was just over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they caught him in the bottom where G Pride was looking to push the tier 2 tower, and Chris Brown was pretty far out in front of his team, thinking he could use the Remnant to get back, but Leo Style was there to take him down on the backside before he can get back with his group. And from there, they just proceeded to roll them over and go into the base.
Yep. So, I mean, Gorilla's Pride, they still had a great tournament. They're coming in 3rd place. They're going home with prize money. So
right.
It's nothing to turn your nose at. Sacred, on the other hand, does have a shot at 1st place. They're going to be going up against Leviathan in our next day of the series. I believe it is still to be determined, but
right.
All of the details will be posted on firstblood.io as soon as we have them. Boys, I'm going to bring you up on camera one more time.
Okay.
Any other closing thoughts on the match, Sacred versus Gorilla's Pride? Maybe a purse.io play of the game anywhere?
The tier 3 push, the one where G Pride came in the bottom, and I think they had 2 people down, and it was starting to look like there was a glimmer of hope for them.
Yeah.
But then there was an Echo Slam and a Troll.
Yep. He got a triple kill like it was just not normal. We're not down players. I'm just going to kill them all.
He got a triple kill like he was just farming the lane, man.
Yep. That was flawless, and it shows the strength of the draft that when you put it was really like a 4 protect 1 kind of, because they just put all their hope was on Troll. If Troll wasn't down, they were still in it. Just Matthew and Troll comboed into a triple, and then they went and wrapped the game up right after that.
You know, I wonder if Monkey King got a defusal, if that would have helped.
Maybe a little bit to mitigate the Empower. He probably would have killed people more slowly. But then you still had the Chain Frost and the Echo Slam in the RP. I don't think it would have helped too much. I don't think that the Monkey King's build was incorrect. I just think the more glaring hole was not having a mid that existed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get at, because it's like it would have been like just taping up the problem that they had right there. It would have solved the short-term problem of what do we do to actually have some damage now, but it would have created a bigger problem of who's actually supposed to do something when the late game comes, and they still would have been looking at the big bad Troll.
Yep. The Monkey King, people hate on Battle Fury on Monkey King, but I think it's pretty decent. He was able to stay second place in the net worth chart due to the virtue of having the Battle Fury. It let him farm. It's a massive damage output. If they can get someone,
it gives him a
into
lot of
the
farming
Wukong's
potential. I feel like it keeps him so susceptible to just getting rolled on, though.
Yeah, it definitely does. G Pride could have used, like, they actually could have used the Magnetar. Like that's what I feel like they needed. I don't know where maybe you put the Brew mid instead and just pray.
Like we could honestly theory craft about this all we want, but pretend you pick your dream team, but you have the same start where your mid is denying himself, and like what makes up for that?
Yeah.
What makes up for that?
I agree. Not much.
You're not wrong at that. Oof. Well, hey, maybe G Pride will be in tournament week.
Yeah, they're welcome to join. I'd actually be a little terrified if they chose to, because they'd be back with a vengeance.
Well, hey,
especially after me hating on their draft.
Prize pool, like, think of it this way: if they just roll through and take them all out, then they'll be winning. They'll be coming near like the top prizes of the Bits tournament. You know.
Yep, they have no reason not to, right? Money's money.
You are right at that, my friend.
So yeah, please, if you guys are interested, check out tournament week. This is, I keep wanting to call it tournament mode, like it's a like it's an event in Dota, like some sort of new mode. Tournament mode.
Battle Cup mode.
Oh man, I miss Battle
Not
Cup.
entirely.
Yeah, it's. So yeah, check out tournament week. All the details will be available at firstblood.io. And I'd like to thank you all again for joining us, and Sky and Doggy, of course, for being our wonderful casters. This again, 2017 Blood in the Streets America's Dota 2 Championship. The next time we are live, we will be hosting the Grand Finals. That is Leviathan versus Team Sacred. Again, we are supported by Purse.io and Antlion Audio, and this was brought to you by firstblood.io. So, Sky, Doggy, I will see you guys next time for the Grand Finals.
Word.
It's sure to be quite a match.
Quicksilva, a pleasure as always, and thanks again, guys, at firstblood.io. Guys, if you're interested in winning items far more so than just all of this tournament week awesomeness that we're talking about, there is a ladder that's going on there right now where you can win some items that are worth a pretty penny itself. So even if you're just rolling out as a solo guy, you don't got any friends like me, you can play, win items on your own, but check out the First Blood Discord community. You can get yourself a friend, just one, not more than that, and maybe they can get you a team. But on your own, probably not, but hey, whatever.
Wow. That is the rudest advertisement I have ever heard.
He does his best.
I think it would be good for people to sign up for this ladder just so they can kick your ass.
Come beat up
Do it.
Sky in
Please
tournament
come
week.
beat me up in
and
tournament
ladder.
week. I will be rushing Midas on every character that I do, or a nullifier.
Easy skins. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Blood in the Streets. Have a great night.
Calling all Amazon shoppers and lovers of Bitcoin. Want to enjoy huge discounts while shopping with Bitcoin and save on millions of products? Purse.io is now better than ever before. With Name Your Discount, users stand to save an average of 15% on all their purchases. Buy now. Instantly search for Amazon items on Purse.io and save 5% just by using Bitcoin to check out. Purse.io. Finally, a reason to use Bitcoin.